Class, we'll continue on from our first video tutorial on how to get started with our life skills class. We talked about what different files are in the My Instructor folder. We talked a little bit about courses, and I'm going to open that up again just so you can see. So we have the syllabus, the schedule, the help, and then other resources. Again, if we close a folder, all we have to do is click on the little triangle off to the left and it closes the folders up. I'm not going to spend too much time on Lead Student Tools and Pathway Missionary Tools. Your Thursday night meetings, they'll help you with these two folders. If you're going to be the lead student, here are the resources and the tools you'll need to complete your assignment. And the Pathway Missionaries also have access to your assignments here. Let's look at our very first lesson, and I'm going to open up the introduction lesson, and this is the lesson that we'll be working on this week. The first thing that we need to do is look at Read Me First, and when I click on that, it's going to open up in this window right here the document that we need to read. And we can see that it's a document over here because it has a paper and also some lines on it. And that tells you also that you can mark this activity as being completed. And what I would suggest is that you just look at this briefly. It just tells you about what type of browser you need, what you need to do to contact BYU again. And also it gives you information about a speaking partner that you'll need to have for the class. And we'll talk about that just a little bit later. And once you've read through that once, then you can just click that mark that activity and it'll come up over here as being done. Then you don't have to worry about going back and wondering if you've read that or not. Intro lesson preview. This is a very important first step into understanding what is expected in our class. It reviews the outcomes here, a doctrinal introduction, and introduction lesson schedule. And all of these links here will be guiding you to the assignments that you need to complete. The assignments that are in this page right here are also found in these three folders. So for example, if I click on Getting Started, it automatically opens the pre-gathering folder and goes to Getting Started. And again, I can close that if I'd like and go back to the introduction lesson. So in a simplified way of saying this, you can either use the intro lesson preview links here or go through them through the folders. I prefer myself to use the folders over here. But again, if you want to get an overview of what is expected of you and the outcomes, this is a great place to start. You have notes from instructor. I'll talk about that in another video that I'll create for you. Let's just look at our pre-gathering folder, and we'll stop with this. And on Wednesday, I'll talk to you about these other folders. But let's just start with what we need to have done by Wednesday. Now, mark the beginning. If it has a question mark, that means you need to submit some sort of assignment to me to be either graded or marked by the computer. So I can click on Mark the Beginning. And in this window over here, it's just being a little slow right now, and that might be because I have my video running at the same time. It talks about whenever we start something new, it's important that we go and we reflect upon the beginning spot where we're starting. And it gives you an idea of what you need to do there. And down here, I've already started mine, but yours will say start. Mine will say continue. And it's just going to ask you some questions here. And you'll go through and answer those questions. And it talks a little bit more about being prepared to be a university student. And when I'm done, I can just click on Submit. And once I click on Submit, mine will say you must answer all the questions before submitting. So I'll just go back and look at the next one called Getting Started. But it will put it into the dashboard that we talked about before, and since it was just a multiple choice, it'll go right back to you. I will go back and look at most of your assignments that that are automatically corrected by the computer. Getting started. This is another spot in our class that you need to spend quite a bit of time looking at. It talks about the iLearn tutorial for students, and it goes through steps that you'll need to do and complete in order to get credit. And you can just mark this activity as completed once you've done that. Speaking partner. You are required to have a speaking partner. A speaking partner, I'm going to read here what it says. A speaking partner program gives you the opportunity to work or to have weekly conversations with somebody that is fluent in English. The speaking partner discussion material for each week are contained in lessons 1 through 12. Only English should be spoken during the appointment. So each week you'll need to spend a half hour with a speaking partner. And this will help you find a speaking partner either through BYU Idaho or someone that you know. So spend some time here looking at that and making sure that you complete the speaking partner by the end of this week. Topic of introduction, let's look at that. Again, it has a question mark, so there's something we have to do. We usually have a start button here. And topic of introduction and listening practice. This is our course introduction. And it's going to review, let me close this here. Looks like my video's completed here, sorry about that. It's going to go over vocabulary words, and then it's going to talk about the pathway relationship model. As a student, who do I contact if I have a concern? And each one of these areas here will tell you how you do that. So that's our topic of introduction. Vocabulary. We're going to look at our vocabulary, and then there is an article by Elder Uchtdorf that you need to read, and then you'll have an assignment with that. And then also there is an introduce yourself instructions of how to work on the discussion board. And I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. How do I get on the discussion board? So hopefully that gives you an idea of how things work. Again, I can go back to the dashboard here, and once I've completed an assignment, it will pop in here into my gradebook activity. And once I've completed it here, it will disappear in my due soon assignments. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding, and I'll go in and talk to you about the discussion board and also about any questions you have about the lessons and how you get answers for them. So thank you.